That's weird. That was weird. Why did the background come that way? Got a lot of things I gotta fix, I guess. I broke something just before I started the show, and that is my live chat. I am not seeing any chat at all, and I know it's something that I did wrong because and screwed something up. Let me click a couple buttons here and see. I think I'm signed out, and that's what the issue is. I had to update the what do you call it? The Social Stream app, and that got me all screwed up. All right, well, at least that's working. Hey, Joe, good to see you. So I know StreamerBot's working. That's over there. Of course, now I got to remember my password. Hello, John. How are you? Good to see you. I did see you pop in a minute ago. I think you were the first one that said hello. Yes, it's me. That one. Close this window after signing in. Okay. But it didn't tell me how to get my chat up here. I bet chat is like running away and I just am not seeing it. James, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Auto find and activate. Session is YouTube. Stop sources. Toggle visibility. I don't know what that means. Oh, wait. I think I might have figured it out. I think. Not sure. Possibly not. I may have to just do this from StreamYard because I screwed this up really, really bad. The funny thing is I could do test messages. The social stream allows you to like pop up. There, now they're coming in. Okay, that window has to be active. That's what it is. So now I can do that. Hey, Wigwag, good to see you, brother. Mike is in the house. There's Mike saying, hey, Rick. Wigwag, now I see it. Okay. All right. Going crazy. I made some changes this past week to my YouTube, and I'm going to explain that a little bit tonight and what I did. And I got good news. I found our little bridge project. Well, parts of it. I did find the other half of the roof. I found the actual bridge. I am missing a couple parts that I'm going to have to try and figure out a way to get it together. It's coming. I didn't get to the participants list. That's where it comes in. Shh. Don't get ahead of yourself. So maybe we can finish that up and see how that goes. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this change that I'm making with my channel. It's gonna be a little confusing to some. There might be some of you may get it. It's I don't want to say it's too technical. It's not technical. It's just computer related, I guess. But yeah, we'll get to that and we'll get it. I'm really anxious to get into this project. I want to start modeling again. So I figured what we could do is we'll mess around with the roof and some of the colors, and maybe do some. Oh, you know what? I don't have my green. I'm looking at the supplies that I have. Again, most of my stuff is still in storage. So I'm looking around and I'm now noticing that I don't think I have the green grass or moss. All right, so I can't do that. Maybe we just do some weathering on the roof. Man, I was really hoping to do that tonight. All right, I think I screwed that up. All right, let me just see if I have it. I don't think I have it in my drawer here. No. All right, I guess that'll be for next time. Sorry about that. I knew at some point I was not going to be fully prepared for some kind of stream, especially since things are all out of whack. Some things are not here. Some things are in other places. Some things are in storage. So I'm missing a lot of stuff. People are filtering in. 9 people are watching. I was kind of hoping. I'm still looking around. I was kind of hoping this Friday night thing would take off, and we would get a lot of viewers. We got I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but I think last time I was on here live, we had like 20 or 25 people, which isn't bad. I'm comfortable with that. I'm happy with that. But I think back in the day, I guess you can say in my prime, I guess it was about a year or so ago. Hey, Kyle, how you doing, bud? I think we were doing like 35-ish, between 30 and 40. So it's okay. No big deal. I'm here. I'm not here for the numbers. So it really doesn't matter. I'm hoping everybody is doing well. Randall Ellison just came in saying hi, Rick. Hi, chat. Hello, Randall. Pop that up there. All right. Somebody was asking about the weather. How's the weather up there, James? Did James answer? Deep Run says that it's 25 in Virginia. How could it be that cold down there? And I don't think it's that cold up here. Let's find out. Hey, Ziggy, what is the temperature outside?
It's 27 degrees right now.
It's close. Ziggy or Alexa says it's 27 degrees here in Pennsylvania, or at least in my part of Pennsylvania. I'm betting it's colder as you go north. So not too far off from Deep Run there. So we'll take it. All right. So let's do Ziggy. Stop. He's got this new AI feature now where you don't have to stop and keep prompting him to talk. He just follows whatever the next thing is that you're saying. So I found myself actually having conversations with this thing, and it's really depressing. I'm talking to the electronics. Hey, at least it's not the voices in my head. So let's be thankful for that, I guess. Snow is coming tomorrow night. Yep. Snow is coming here, or at least it's supposed to. I think we're supposed to get some snow and some rain. So just hoping that it like washes over. 23 degrees here, Rick. So John is about maybe between an hour and 2 hours away from me, a little north. So he's got a couple degrees different. Rick Bailey, you have another channel going live at 8 p.m. Do I? What channel is that? And it's 8 p.m. So this is the only channel that I'm on. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake earlier. Again, something that I changed. I made a mistake earlier when I was creating this channel or this live stream. And I think I selected the incorrect the incorrect channel. And I think it may have popped up and gave you guys a notification for the old Build Crew channel. That's the only other one that could be live, but it's not going live because I'm live here. So I did cancel it. I'm hoping I canceled it. If anybody is still subscribed to that channel, pop over there and let me know if it's still doing that. I'll have to jump over there at some point and stop that. But that's not going to happen until after the show. Curly Express is in the house. Hey, Dwight, how's it going? 29 here. So that's Joe Rader. Joe Rader's down in the Baltimore, Maryland area. So that's above Virginia, but below in Pennsylvania. So he's got 29. That's 29 degrees outside. We're still talking about weather here. Scott Rails is also live tonight. Who I don't know Scott Rails. I'll have to check out Scott Rails. Oh, it did keep that. Okay, I was just checking something out. All right. Well, before I get into anything, let's do what we normally do. Papa John's Trains is here. Howdy all. Hello, Papa John. Good to see you. Good to see you. It says that it's 30 degrees here. So 30 degrees over where Randall is. All right. So, all right. Everybody's still doing the weather, saying hello. Before we get into that, let's go check out with our girl. I think it's sunny where she's at, and I know she's loving the weather. So let's check in with my girl. Here comes Rita. I see my my intro still has the old STS logo up there. I got to figure out how to change that. I'm not sure if I can alter that video at all. James says it's -6 degrees Celsius up in his area, and that is in the great up north in the Canada region. So it's really, really cold up there. Yeah, I'm not going that high just yet, or at least not this time of year, James. Sorry. So now that we've got Rita out of the way, I gave you guys an intro of what we're going to do. Let's pop over to the participants tab and let's see who's all here. Of course, the tab says no one's here. No one's here but me. Don't know why. You guys have been chatting up like crazy. Do I need to refresh the window? There it is. There it is. So it's popping up there. Okay. If you don't see your name on that list, it's either because you haven't said anything in a little bit, or the list just doesn't know that you're there. So say hello, say hi to chat, say hello to everyone in chat, so that this list gets populated with everybody that's here, and then I know that I can say hello to you. So I'm going to run through the chat real quick. It's not that big at all. So let's see. At the top here, we've got Deep Run Railroad. That's Mike over there. The Dundas Junction Model Railroad. That is James. Of course, I'm on that list. I'm the FBMRR. Joe Rader is up there on the list. Welcome, Joe. Dwight is also here. That's Curly Express. Kyle Stevens is here. Hello again, Kyle. Papa John is in the house. I'm sure you get plenty of jokes, Papa John, about pizza. I'm betting you're probably tired of it. Papa John's pizza is really good, and every time I see your name, that's what I'm thinking about, man. I'm sorry. But let's keep this train focused, and maybe we'll get past that. Randall Ellison is in the house. Welcome, Randall. Ray Birtle is here. Welcome, Ray. Of course, John from the Schuylkill River Valley is here. And last but not least, always at the bottom of our list is my man Wigwag Workshop, or as I lovingly know him as 3Dub. Welcome, guys. Welcome. As I mentioned before, tonight I'm going to try to get to some of this this project that we left behind the last time we were here. And what I'd also wanted to talk to you about, I was running trains today. That's what James says. Awesome. Wish I could run some trains. I need some space to run some trains. I'll use some changes that I made to the channel, and I thought I really screwed it up this week, but thankfully it all worked out. So originally when I set up my YouTube channel, this is going back, we're going back in time. When YouTube, I'm not going to say when YouTube first came out because I don't know how it was. I came later on. There was a point, we'll do it that way. There was a point where if you wanted to have a YouTube channel, you had to have a Gmail account. That's not the case nowadays, but it was at one point. What happened was YouTube started to model train outsider. Welcome, Anthony. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you, my friend. In the interim, what YouTube started to do was they allowed people that had their own domain. So what for me at the time, because I was real heavy in doing my what my profession is, and that's fixing computers. I had created a domain name or a website called PCFixerGuy.net, and I had set up an email account for that domain. And then what I did was I used that email account to create my YouTube channel. So right now, the Foltz Bailey Model Railroad channel exists under that name. Unfortunately, you can't change that. I'll take that back. It can be changed, but there is a process. It's not easy. You can't just go into YouTube and say, change my email. It doesn't work that way because the email is the YouTube account. So in order to take your channel to a different account, you have to do a couple steps. Those steps include logging into the account that currently has the channel. So in this case, I logged into that email account and I was able to view my channel as it exists. What I then had to do was create what they call a branded channel. It's like a second channel on the same account. So over this weekend or over this week, what I did was I moved just my YouTube channel over to this branded account. So it's still owned by the same email account. It's just considered separate from what my now Rick.Bailey is. So technically I've got two separate channels. Now, in order for me to move this channel onto another account, what I have to do is first create the new account, which is what I did. I created the email address that you see on my channel, which is rick@fbmrr.com, is my other email account. And what I want to do is move my channel to that account. So in order to do that, what I have to do is go into my YouTube account, onto my branded channel, and I have to make the other channel a manager of. Once I confirm that they are a manager of this channel, I can then go in and change their status to be the owner of the channel. Once that's confirmed and you now have two owners of the channel, I can then go into the new account and remove the old access from the other account. What I'm trying to do is get rid of the PCFixerGuy.net stuff. I'm done with that. I'm not going to go forward with that. I don't want to keep paying for the domain every year and keeping the email address open for what I only get is spam and YouTube notifications. So that's the whole purpose. Now, the problem that I'm going to run into when I finally do move the channel to the new account, what's going to happen is all of the comments that I have made as Rick.Bailey, or what you guys see as FBMRR, they're all going to disappear because it doesn't make sense that the new owner still has comments from the previous owner, even though I'm the same owner. So that's going to blank that all out. I don't know if it's going to give me an opportunity to go back and actually respond to those. I would imagine it would. I would imagine that the list is going to be full of all the videos and all the comments that you guys have made over the last couple of years. I would have to go back and do that. So, yeah, that's something that's transitioning. So the first part of that was done earlier this week. And then when I sat down here at 6:30 and decided it's Friday, I'm going to do a live stream, I had forgotten that I made that change, and I had to go through and make a whole bunch of other changes in my OBS, in StreamYard, in StreamerBot, and I had to get all that fixed up and completely forgot about it an hour and a half before the show. So that's what I was fighting with, and that's why you may have seen the other channel pop up as a notification saying it's live. But it's not. But it is what it is. Those are just some things that are happening behind the scenes. I see in chat, has anyone seen the new voice comment on people that comments on your video? I'm not sure what that means. I don't think I've seen it. Has anyone seen the new voice comment on people that comment on your video? I'm not sure exactly what that is. I don't think I've seen it. James apparently hasn't seen it. Me and Pappy already been careful and we didn't say anything bad. Oh, so you can video or you can audio chat a comment on someone's video? It sounds like a neat concept. I'm not sure if that sounds kind of weird. But all right. Either way. All right. Well, now that I've got done all of you record a voice instead of typing. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's weird. Especially if you're sitting, can you imagine if you're just looking on your phone and you're scrolling through your comments and you're in a public place and you got all these videos, if you don't have a headset or a Bluetooth or something in your ear and people are starting to leave all these voice messages, you're going to have to go back later and read those. If, like I said, unless you want to have it all public. Can you imagine being on the subway or inside McDonald's and you're sitting there and you're scrolling through and there's all these voice comments, especially if you're in a busy place, you're probably not going to hear them that well. Like I said, unless you got headphones in, I don't see that as something taken off. But hey, I've been wrong before. So let's see how it plays out. You never know. You never know. All right, I am going to flip the camera over and we're going to get down into this project here and see how far we get. I got to remember how to do this. I believe it's that one. Yes. And where am I at? Oh, I'm there. Hey, I got to still fix my green screen. All right, so this is the bridge project that we did. And this came in a couple of different steps. This X pattern here is actually two pieces. This was a laser cut kit. So these X pieces are actually two separate pieces that are just glued together, opposite sides. That's what makes the X. And then we glued that to the front of the structure. Once we had that solid, we started working on these. What do you call these? The word is going away from me right now. Somebody's going to pop it up here. Stringers. I think they're stringers or lattices. I don't know. These things up in here, in the roof stringers, I believe they're called. I still have to fix a couple of them. There's a couple that are still wobbly. Hey, Ron came in. Ron popped in. Hey, Ron, good to see you, buddy, from RWC Toy Man. Good to see you, dude. So I got a couple of these that I got to fix that I know are loose. And then I went through and I put the bottom on, and I think this is where I found out that the instructions were incorrect, or not incorrect, but maybe should have been done differently. Because this isn't a railroad bridge. This is it's a car bridge, a covered bridge, or it could be a walking bridge. But either way, once you put the roof on, unless you build this differently as one unit, which these are all individual pieces that were glued on. There were the instructions were to build it as that, doing 1 1 1 1, and then I realized after I got it glued that I can no longer get inside there to do any kind of weathering, or if it's being used as a car bridge, maybe you want to do like the oil drippings down the center, or tire tracks or something like that. And now that can't be done. I'm pretty sure you can do it. It can be done. You can get a brush in between these holes and actually get it done, but that's a pain. There should have been a prompt to do that before. Curly says, I was scared to do it at first, but then Pappy did it. All right. Well, as long as you and Pappy are okay with what you said, that's fine. So this is the other half of the bridge roof, and you can see when I did these individual shingles here came off of just a sheet. These just pop out. You could see they're individually laser cut, and then you just glue these onto the cardboard. I painted mine first. You can see when I did it, there's the red. But as you can see, I didn't do too well because I left some red there. So I think what I want to try to do is just get some weathering in here, some different colors. I'm going to try just covering that up with maybe some black to make it look like it's old, and go from there. But I think before I glue this on, I want to try doing the weathering first so that I'm not always manhandling the bridge as it is. So let's play with this for a little bit and see what we come up with. The first thing that I'm going to try is some stain. And this is probably my favorite stain. This is my favorite stain for doing weathering. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to explain. When I'm doing weathering as a second step, this is probably my favorite color to do because it's darker. But when I'm weathering just wood for a project, this is my go-to stain. This is my own creation that I found the recipe for online. On YouTube, you can it's very easy to make. It's basically just vinegar, water, and a steel wool. I think I explained this before a long time ago when I first made it. You fill up the jar with some vinegar and some water. You submerge a thing of steel wool in here, not an SOS pad, not anything with any kind of detergent or soap on it. If you go to Home Depot, you can find the real fine. This happened before at the same time, 30 minutes in, and the video froze. Hopefully this comes back. Let's wait for it. I'm going to keep talking. There we go. We're back. Okay. Very strange. Did the same thing last week. I don't know if it's at the same mark. Anyway, so homemade stain, vinegar, water, steel wool, leave it in there for like 24 hours. Once you leave it in there, what you'll notice is the vinegar will start to dissolve the stainless steel, and it will turn it to a muddy consistency. It'll look almost like a tan clay. It'll be like, you'll see it'll be tan down here, and then the rest of it will look clear. What you're going to do is then strain that out, get rid of the steel wool, and then what you're left with is all of that tanning, staining solution. What you can do at that point is then brush that directly onto a piece of wood, and you can watch it turn colors. It will, depending on how much you use or how much you dilute it. Yes, Ray says 0.0000000 steel wool works good for that. Yes, the really fine stuff, because you really want it to break down. The bigger the steel wool fibers, the longer it's going to take. But once you put this mixture onto your wood, you will see that it starts to turn colors. Depending on how much you use, you'll see that you get different reactions from the wood. Some is darker, some is lighter. You can dilute this again with some more vinegar or some more water. You can speed up the process by using a battery, connect a wire to the positive and negative, and put the other end in the solution. Yes, there is a name for that, and I can't remember what it is. But yes, that is a process that you can do, and it will speed it up in a matter of moments or hours. My lid is not on too tight because I'm over here spilling it all over my workbench. So let me get that out of the way. At least I got it explained for you. It looks like my bottle is, the vinegar might be dissolving my bottle, my lid. Electrolysis, that's it. Wigwag's got it. All right. Let me clean this up before it stains my my area here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of my little steel cups here. I'm going to shake up my stain, pour some of that in here, and then I am going to mix this. I think I'm going to try just water. I actually have a water bottle here, and I'm just going to dilute this a little bit. I've got way too much in there, but that's okay. Yeah, might as well top off while I can, right? All right, so I'm going to get my trusty brush here. Where is my brush? Not sure which one I want to use. I'm going to go with a smaller one. All right, let's mix this up. Real small fine brush, just because this is a real small fine project. It's science. Yeah, Wigwag says it's science. Look at Steven with the big brain. I'm going to test this out on the back here. Now, this is cardboard. So you can see when you first brush it on, it looks like nothing's happening, and then it starts to turn darker. So I'm going to use this sparingly and just try and get up underneath of some of those spaces that I missed. I have a feeling that I'm probably going to wind up going back over this with red. I'm not sure this is going to come out exactly the way I want it, but I'm going to try. That's what I'm here for, right? I do all the testing so that you guys don't screw it up later. That's why I started my live shows. And because this is cardboard, it is just soaking right on in, which is fine by me. Not going to hurt anything. I'm not worried about the top part here, because that's going to be covered with a piece of wood later on down the line. And I notice here what's happening is the parts that have glue on it, the stain's not taking to the glue. Like you can notice right there. See how that part right there is not taking any stain? And I believe that's because it's just covered in glue. So some of this I'm going to have to go over and probably here. Let's zoom in a little bit. And I froze again. Jeez. You know what I think? I think it's time for a new PC. Because this one isn't acting the way I want it to. Oh, that came out okay. So if I touch it to the bottom, it's soaking up into those individual shingles, which is really cool. But I got a feeling I'm going to wind up having to cover this whole thing just to get something that looks pretty good. It's cold outside. Freezing is inevitable. That's true. It's 68 degrees here in the apartment, so I was hoping for no freezing. Yeah, see, I can see where I left glue because that's the shiny part. I think I'm just going to go through and just randomly weather this down. I definitely know I'm going to have to go over it with some red and get some red in there because it's not looking the way I want it to. It's funny, it does at first, and then as it dries, it doesn't look the way I want it to. And I'm afraid that if I just put more and more on, it's just going to look crappy. Again, this is just a piece of cardboard underneath, and I've got plenty more shingles. So if I screw this up, I can always make another. Not too concerned about it. So at this point, I'm just going through and coloring the whole thing because it looks like just naturally it's taking in some places and in other places it's staying light. I guess it depends on where it soaks in, which is fine. You know what I should have did? I should have cut some of these shingles out to make it look like they were falling off. Make it a little run down. Shouldn't have added the water. Would have given a more rustic look. Just my opinion. Ray, I'll tell you what. Let's do this because I am a man who loves to try things. Hang on. Oh, there's stuff in that one. Let's get another one. All right, Ray. Here we go, Ray. This is pure stain right here. No additives, no nothing. Yep, definitely darker. I guess it all depends on your liking, because and I notice as soon as I touch this brush there, the brush it's soaking the liquid right on in because of the cardboard. So I got to be like really fast with getting it over there. to where I want it. I also don't want to do too much because even though it is a small brush, it does leave large patches, and I don't want it to look out of scale. I think Ray was right on this one. I think that the non-diluted version of the stain looks a lot better. And then I'm gonna go a little heavy on the bottom because that's probably where all the water is gonna sit. So I'm just running my brush across the bottom and letting it get all inside those crevices there. And it's gonna wick right on up into all those cracks. I'm even going to do the sides here. And again, not worried about the top. All right, so let's do a comparison here between that one and that one. Let's see if I can hold this straight. So, of course, the top one is what was just weathered. The bottom one is just straight paint. And yeah, I think Ray was right. I think doing the darker, non-diluted was a lot better. See, to you, it's the camera is pulling out all of those spots as if it was like a leopard, you know, with spots. To me, it's not. To me, it looks like it's actually blended. Like I can see the different shades and how dark they are. You guys are just seeing spot, 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 spot. Rick, are those shingles paper? I no, I don't think they're paper. I think it's like a light cardstock because it's got some heaviness to it. But it is I mean, I guess it's paper per se. But yeah. So the way that I normally do it, and I think the way that I did it on the show before is, see, each individual one of these, they're identical to the one next to it. So what you want to do is you want to cut these things in pieces and then mix them up so you get like a random assortment of how they go on, because you don't want them to go on there and them all look the same on there. So I'm going to let that sit on there and seep in, and I'm going to move over here to this one and we're going to finish this one. I'm using my tablet to watch Rick, but my phone to reply to you. I do the same thing with my television. I watch you guys on my television, but use my phone to respond. Where did you get them, Rick? So this came as a kit, and these were included in the kit. The kit was made by, hang on, let me look it up real quick. I want to say that it was, oh crap. I think it was Mud Creek. Mud Creek Models. Give me a second. Search. Yes. So the kit was done by Mud Creek Models. That's MUDD creekmodels.com. They make this kit in both an HO scale and an N scale. Right now on their website, the N scale model of this is $35. The HO scale model is $45. It comes with all the pieces, all the wood you need, including the shingles, and you can put it together and decorate it however you want. I'm pretty sure that you could probably find these shingles somewhere else, but that's just where I got them. Like I said, they came in the kit. All right, this one I'm going to do upside down just because I liked the way that it looked when I did that on the other model on the other side. Wife is watching the TV. Yep. See, now this one, I don't know why. I think it might be because it's soaking directly in. So here's the problem. I think the darker one is getting soaked up real quick. And in my opinion, this is actually looking like it's painted on. Like it doesn't look realistic to me. It looks like someone tried to weather it. And I think that's because when I did it originally with the diluted version already soaked into the model. And then I came back with the darker one, and the darker one just enhanced where it was already soaked in. So I'm going to go back and try that and see. Yeah, see, it's covering the spots, but it's not really like, it's not overbearing on the project. And now I'm going to go grab the darker stuff. Yeah, see, the darker stuff is now just flowing in where the other stuff was. So, Ray, I think we need to do a combination of things here. Has more paint on certain. Has more paint on certain parts. Yes. Yes, there is more paint on certain parts. Roberta, welcome to the channel. First time I've seen you here. Welcome, welcome. Always like new members. Yeah, the paint is darker on some spots. I did do that on purpose, or at least I'm going to say I did that on purpose because it gives a contrast. Then again, it was a year ago that this was painted, so it could have not been on purpose. Who can say? But I think I like this technique of doing the lighter the lighter thinned out version and then the darker over top. I think it makes a difference. I could be wrong. But we're all sitting here watching paint dry. Or so it seems. But it's stain. It's not paint. All right, let's flip this around. Let's look at these. Now, I didn't go over heavy in the spots like I did on the first one. So the top one definitely has more stain on it. But I think the spots that are not painted are covered better. Yep, I completely agree. That's why diluted and non-diluted flow differently and can be materials as well. But it's the paint. So yeah, I agree to that. I do. The diluted stuff is definitely going to flow farther than the non-diluted stuff. Yes. But I think all in all, I am going to go back over this with maybe a deeper red, and see if I can get those other spots covered in. And then once I get that done, I'll glue that on there and then get the roof covered, get that seam covered up, make it actually look like a roof. There are the only two things that I think I'm actually missing here. There are a couple of pieces here that we're putting as accents. There's two diagonal pieces on each side of the doorway right there, and then again on the other side. And then if you go to Mud Creek Models website, you'll see there's that arched piece that we put on there originally way back when. I ran into an issue with that where, remember, it crinkled up. I think it was made out of MDF. And when I painted it, it started to curve. And then when I put the glue on it, the glue made it even curve worse. And then as I was handling the model, it wound up coming off anyway. So I've got to find a replacement for that and get something like that done to complete it. But they're the only couple things that are missing is getting the roof attached, those end pieces here, which I know I've got some scrap wood around here that I can do, and then and get those curved pieces on, and then we can go ahead and give it away to who it's supposed to go to. Remember, this was a gift for a member. I even signed it at the bottom so that you know that it's mine. You should always sign anything that you create. It just shows pride in your work, I think. Helps to identify, you from the next guy who builds something similar. But I'm sure the owner of something, if you gift that to someone and it's got your signature on it, whether you're worth $1 million or not, it's just a nice touch. Later on down the line, I'm sure there'll be a story to that where your friend will say, yeah, I won this in a contest, or my friend was so nice to gift this to me. And there'll be a whole story around you signing your own thing there. So, but I'm going to work on that stuff offline rather than doing it here because there's a lot of work, and we're almost at the top of the hour. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined in and came into chat. CP368 is jumping in at the last second. Nice to see you, sir. But we're going to wrap this up here. Again, thank you everyone for joining in. And I'm not sure, with the holidays coming up in the next couple weeks, I don't think that I'm going to have another show probably until after the new year. I've got the kids coming up in a couple weeks. I have them every other weekend now. So they'll be here next week, and then we've got Christmas week, and then there's New Year's after that, and I think I've got the kids for them too, so it probably won't be until like maybe the first or second week after the New Year's. Grandpa Rails is just jumping in here late. What do you say? Later all been lurking. Oh, well, good. I'm glad you've been here. So everybody say hello to Grandpa Rails. But all right, everyone, thank you again. I'm going to jump over to the outro. And of course, right over there, you're going to see a video of mine that I'll post up in a little bit later. Right down there in the corner, you'll see another video. And then right below me is that subscribe button. Thanks for subscribing. Have a good night.